Hi, once again we are back, and I'm Dr. Sucheta Priyabadini, Director of Student Counselling at Bhubaneswar, India, sitarist and artist. And here is Mr. Stephen Manallack, and fondly known as Steve. He is a motivator, orator, author, and public relation consultant from Australia. So let's start, Steve. Today we are going to discuss on loneliness, and many people have different experience and flavors of loneliness, isn't it? Each individual onto his own as regards causes. So, but social scientists have categorized loneliness into four major categories, like emotional, social, situational, and chronic. As you people must have read that former US Surgeon General Vivek Murthy says that the most common pathology he saw during his years of service was not heart disease or diabetes, it was loneliness. So chronic loneliness, some say, is like smoking 15 cigarettes per day, and it kills more people than obesity. And because loneliness is now considered a public health issue and even an epidemic, people are exploring its causes and trying to find out solutions for it. And loneliness has been a growing problem for decades, and we don't know about that. And with some estimating that 61% of adults in United States of America, they are having this loneliness problem, and it has made worse during this pandemic. Last 2.5 years, we are suffering like anything of on loneliness because of the lockdown, isolation, and all these things. And we human needs at least a few deep, meaningful relationships to maintain good mental health and keep loneliness at bay, isn't it? As we are discussing, this is also a kind of we are discussing on something, and it will also eradicate loneliness, isn't it? It's a kind of part of. And you were discussing that day on hot loneliness and cool loneliness. What is that, Steve? I don't have any idea about that.
So thanks so much for giving me the opportunity to talk about loneliness because I remember experiencing it from time to time, and I have to say, even now I sometimes feel it, um, but I don't feel it too badly. But because often we think of a lonely person as being an older person sitting alone, looking sad, all that kind of imagery. But the latest research, which was done by the BBC loneliness experiment, they found that most loneliness occurs among young people,
Oh,
and those young people, they're not on their own, they're surrounded by other young people, but they feel lonely.
okay.
So they called that the loneliness experiment, which found 40% of those who are aged between 16 and 24 say that they will feel loneliness often or very often. So this is a big problem, and I know that universities in particular are doing a lot of good things to deal with it. But one of the things I learned for myself, which you spoke about, was there can be a kind of a cool loneliness and a bad loneliness.
Yeah.
And let me explain that. Sometimes if we're feeling lonely, but it doesn't worry us too much, we can take the opportunity to do something we enjoy.
Yeah.
It might be listening to music, read a book, go for a walk. We don't need company. That loneliness is fine. I think that's cool.
Yes, yes, that's true.
And but really the bad loneliness is the one to worry about because that can make us feel as if we're not worthy of friendship and as if no one would like me. And that can be a really restrictive feeling. And I feel that I've had it in the past, not now, but in the past, and so I can relate to it, and it affects our state of happiness, doesn't it? So I think the key question to ask, whether you're 18, 28, 38, whatever age, is what is your own view of you? And if we have a positive view of ourselves, then the chances are we'll experience that cool loneliness.
Yeah.
Or if we do feel even a touch of bad loneliness, we'll get up out of our room and we'll go outside and we'll meet people or we'll do something. What do
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah, I also have felt. I mean, I'll tell you an example. I mean, it's a personal experience about cool loneliness. It's a positive loneliness. I say for the last 20 years plus, while I was anchored in this university job at Bhubaneswar, India, my husband being a central government job, and he has been posted in different parts of the country all this time, however, we never felt hurt by any kind of loneliness, as this distant relationship was based on our conscious decision and a mutual understanding, you can say, and we are enjoying each other's success every time we felt. And as you know, that artist, as you told, artists also they paint, and painting is their companion, you can say. The musician, the music is their companion. So it's like cool loneliness. You enjoy what you do. So when you enjoy what you do, then I think that's a cool loneliness. That's what you wanted to say, isn't it? And you told that bad loneliness or hot loneliness. Yes, I have found the youngsters, they will be there in the class, but they'll feel lonely and they will say, Ma'am, I don't have any friends. I don't feel like making friendship to others. So that's bad, and that will hamper the health of the students, youngsters. I mean, in my university, some of the students are like that. So they need to counsel. I mean, we'll have to counsel them how to eradicate that loneliness. Otherwise, it will hamper their studies as well, apart from health, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, a couple of things that you said that really connected with me.
Yeah.
And the first one was that you obviously went through some change or transition in your life where your husband was away for some time.
Yes.
And then I think of young people, look at the changes they're going through all the time.
Yes.
No wonder so many of them do feel lonely. And the transition from school, you have your group of friends, then you go to college or university or whatever, you don't necessarily have your friends with you. That's a massive change.
Yes.
And so even the change from 1 year of university study to the next year can be a big change. So I feel that the key thing is, what is my view of myself? If I'm happy with myself, that's a good foundation.
That's
Because I've found from experience, when I was younger in business and I had some problems, I developed somewhat of a low self-esteem. And do you know what? Low self-esteem kind of drives other people away, doesn't it? It's
yes.
very sad. Whereas if we feel comfortable, so one of the things is what we call negative self-talk.
Yes.
If I talk about myself and I'm saying, I can never make any friends, people don't find me interesting, then we won't find friends. But here's the other thing that I would say to any young person, in fact, to any person.
Yes.
You are totally valuable. You're a wonderful person. You have strengths, you have weaknesses. You have human strengths, you have frailties. This is what makes us exciting. Everything about you is positive. Everything about you is designed to relate to other people if you just let it happen.
Yes.
If you just calm down, become cool, it'll work, and do things. Get
Yes.
out and join a club. What do you think about that idea?
Yes, I mean, I have been seeing students. Yesterday only, I was talking to some of the students, and I always say that you will have to love yourself. I love myself, and I can do anything. If I'm determined to do anything, yes, I will do. And if I think, as you told, that yes, I'm not good at this, I cannot compete with those people, and nobody likes me, my destiny is bad, my I have bad luck. So all these negative talk, it will make you lonely. In a way, and that's what I mean. Positive is yes, I can do. I have nothing is impossible in this world, and I'm good at everything. So I'll have to love myself. If you love yourself, then nothing is like that, isn't it? What do you say, Steve?
Yeah, and that's beautiful, and it also comes down to, again, our self-image, and
Yeah,
also our
amazing.
understanding of, yeah, of our understanding of what is a true friend. And my experience has told me a true friend is not necessarily someone who's incredibly wealthy or has the latest fashion or is top of the class or a great athlete or a beautiful this or that. A true friend is someone who's open to you and trusts you, and
Yes.
you can trust them.
Yes.
That, now, when you look at that, that's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yes, that is true. Absolutely. I mean, if you are like small kind of kindness, I have seen one person who is working at my place, and he's very poor. But he every morning and evening he will distribute biscuits to the street dogs. I mean,
True.
I'm really surprised to see the kindness of that person, and he feels happy, and he never feels lonely because he has that kindness, and he's distributing those biscuits. In a way, he's connecting with the street dogs. So it's really,
Kindness.
I feel really happy to see that person. So it's you don't need a lot of money to eradicate loneliness. You need only how you be positive and how you can help yourself. It's you only. We can only give them advice, but it's the person who is thinking. He or she has to think about himself or herself positively, isn't it?
Yeah, I think sometimes it can be good to actually write down a list of all
Yes.
the people I know
Yeah.
in my family, outside my family, in
Yeah.
the university, counselors, lecturers, other students who I have at some stage spoken to or have
Yeah.
been nice to me. Just
Yeah.
write a list, get that list down. I think you'd be surprised how big the list is. All of us would be.
We.
And then I think if we practice like that person you described, a small act of kindness, kindness is like a magnet. It
Yes,
draws people to us.
yes,
It,
yes,
it I learned that from India. I can't remember who said it, but they said, you've got a magnet in your heart that will attract other people, and that magnet is your love and interest in other people.
yes,
Kindness. Wow.
absolutely. Yes, that
So
is
if
true.
so I understand, if a person's feeling a really bad kind of loneliness now, it's good for them to connect with any kind of service at the university that can help them.
Yes,
That's number one, or a mentor, someone who can help.
yes,
But even if you could do something simple, let's say you go outside and you see someone else who's sitting on their own. Why not just go and say hi, hello,
yes,
and and keep it open, like saying, what's been a special thing in your life this week? That's a
yes,
good question, isn't it?
yes, yes. I mean,
Because it
they you
starts
can connect with the other
conversation.
person. Yes, that's a good idea. I mean, then they will feel good, and you will also feel good by talking to those people, those who all
Yeah,
feeling, I mean, maybe depressed or maybe sad or for something. They are sitting alone. So, and
yeah,
That's a way. I mean, thank you, Steve. And yes, I'm okay. You are okay. So everybody should be okay, isn't it? So let's
And
say that we can say together, let's take a step forward to know ourselves and eradicate loneliness, isn't it?
yeah, I think we can do a lot as individuals
Yeah.
and as mentors. And, I say to a young person, if you're disappointed that a friend is not talking to you so much, don't assume it's because of who you are.
Ye-
It
yeah.
may well be that they've got some deep anxiety in themselves.
In themselves.
Uh, Perhaps they're not keeping up with their work. Perhaps they're not getting the. You see, they might have a problem as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
in one way or another, we've all got a problem. So if we just open our hearts to people,
People.
be kind, and feel in ourselves that we are of value, that
Yes.
can go a long way to
Yes.
overcoming
Yes,
loneliness.
you are a valued human being. I'm a valued human being. So
Yeah,
let's go together for this
yeah,
to eradicate this loneliness.
yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you, all of you. Thank you, audience. And I hope you enjoy our videos on anxiety, stress, and this is about loneliness. And yes, next will come soon with relationship. Thank you.
Thank you.